Well, hello everybody. It's been raining, cats and dogs, last 2 days. I'm welcome for the rain, but we can temper it back just a little bit. We got enough rain. We're good. Hey, so the rain's got me indoors, so I thought I'd do a little DIY project. What's going on here? I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what I'm doing. Adjusting the emergency brakes on this Jeep, because what's happening when I'm down at the boat ramp and I have this, it's a manual shift, so I'm in neutral. When I have it all the way up, and I mean cranked up, like I'm sitting in this seat and I'm pulling it back, it won't hold the boat on the ramp. It wants to slide down the ramp. So I need to tighten up this emergency brake. So what you got to do on this vehicle, it's a little bit involved, more involved than I thought it was. But what you got to do here is I have it jacked up here. I know you're like, you got to pull the wheels to adjust the emergency brake? Yes. So the emergency brake works on just the rear wheels. This is a 2014 Jeep Wrangler. The emergency brake is actually shoe brakes inside the drum. I know you're saying this is a disc brake caliper. It is. Disc brake, pull the drum, and inside the emergency brakes are inside the rear axle on this unit. I've never seen one like it. I've never had to deal with the Jeep brakes before. This is kind of new to me, but it doesn't look too difficult. Another thing I was reading about is if you put it in four-wheel drive and using the brakes, then you engage the drive link system to the front axles, and that helps. The brakes will, in a sense, through the fact that it's connected through the drivetrain, will also brake the front wheels. So that's how it works. That's their ideology or thinking on that. And I didn't think of that. I mean, I always think of four-wheel drive as getting out or pulling out of a situation, but not necessarily in braking. I've never thought of the front wheels involved in braking when it comes to four-wheel drive, but it makes sense because then you connect all the drivetrain together and it's all one wheel, kind of, if you want to think about it that way. So what I need to do is adjust these brakes. They've never been done before. This is just the parking brakes, not the regular brakes. So what you got to do is you got to pull the wheel. So I'm going to have to do the left and right side. Right now I've started on the left side. And you have to remove the caliper first. Then you have to pull the drum wheel off. And then I'll show you what to do after that. Now I've already loosened this. For this vehicle, it's an 18 millimeter, just an open end wrench. I used an open end 18 millimeter wrench, and I used a rubber mallet to just tap it to break it loose, and then you can take it out by hand. And I put some liquid wrench on there too, just to loosen them, because I don't know if these have been off before. I think they have, but it wasn't by me, because we had these brake pads replaced at one point. So here's one of the bolts. There's two bolts that hold each caliper on. I'll get down here and I'll try to show you. So one was here. You can see the bottom one there is already backed out. You just take it out. Okay, and then you should be able to just pull this caliper off of there. Okay, let go. Trying to do this with one hand. Okay. Now you don't want the weight of this to be hanging on that. It's a brake line. So I'm just going to set it up here in such a way that it's not in my way. There we go. Just set it right up there. And then I should be able to pull this off. I might need two hands for that. So let me set this camera down here for a second. Let's see if I can grab this and just pull it off. Okay. Whew. I need to put some gloves on. I meant to and I forgot. Okay. Here's the little item you're after. So these are the drum brakes. And they push against the inside of the drum here. They expand out. The spring hold them together. And I need to adjust it so that they expand out. You don't want them on the surface, but you want them just barely touching the surface. So I'm going to have to do some adjustments. So what you do is you get a flat tip screwdriver, which I need to go and get, and you see this little thing here with these. You're supposed to be able to stick it in the back here, but the caliper kind of gets in the way and you can't really tell how many times you've adjusted it by using the little opening in the back. It's supposed to have a rubber boot on it. This one does not. So I'm just going to use a screwdriver here and rotate this thing. I think it's in this direction, but we'll know shortly when I start doing it. I'm trying to expand these brake pads so that they touch the hub, or inside the hub. So inside the hub is the caliper brakes, or the brake shoe brakes, and then the caliper up here is the disc brakes for the regular foot pedal brakes. So this is the emergency brake system using these brakes, and that's what I'm trying to adjust. So let me go get a screwdriver. Okay, I'm back, and here's a screwdriver. You just take a flat tip, and there's a couple ways of doing it. You see this hole in the back? You're supposed to be able to come in here and rotate it, and you probably can. I'm trying to do it. I don't want to push out on the... There it goes. You see it rotated? I think an easier way to do it, let me back the camera up just a little to the side, is to put your flat tip right here, and just to give it a little tip, a little tap. Okay, so that's the process. Now I'll have to do this several times until they're adjusted correctly. And turning it counterclockwise, what it's actually doing is it's taking the two brakes and it's pushing them apart, further apart and closer to the inside of the drum. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me see. Okay. Alright, so if my hands are representing the brakes, like these are brake shoes. So if my hand represents a brake shoe, I'm going to come down here and show you. So my hands are brake shoes, right? And if the adjustment, let's say the adjustment's on this side. If I adjust them and make them push out, make them tighter, then it's going to loosen them and push them out like this. It's going to, so if my brake shoe is down in the drum, I'm trying to demonstrate this the best I can, then it's going to push the pads against the inside of the rotor. You kind of understand what I'm saying? I'm exaggerating, but when you adjust that screw, like where my fingertips are, it's going to push them out. And it's going to push the pads closer to the drum. Well, it's a drum and it's a rotor. It's both. So I'm using the terms interchangeably on this vehicle because they are the same thing. So now what you do is to see if you've adjusted them enough, because there's no other way to really know except to put the hub back up there and spin it. And you just set it back on there and then spin it. Let me put the transfer case in neutral. I think that will give me less resistance. So So I can be able to better feel whether there is some. Okay. Okay, now it's in neutral. I've disengaged the axle assembly. So it should just freewheel. Should just free spin. Sounds like I can hear them. That little bit may have helped. It's really hard to tell because I haven't done these before, so I'm not real familiar with it. I'm going to turn it a couple more times just to see if there's a difference. I'm checking the pads to make sure that there's not metal to metal contact. Well, that really is an easy way to turn it, though, I can tell you. Okay, let's see how that feels. Whoop. I think it feels about the same. So I'm just going to keep doing this until I feel there's a little difference. I can see from the screws in there that it looks to be widening. So I think I'm turning them the right way. Okay, that's quite a bit. Let me see what we got here. Let go. I feel like that might be grabbing a little bit. So that might be where I want to leave them. I don't know if I want to adjust anymore. I think I'll just put it back together. The only way to really know is to get back on the boat ramp. I'm trying to clean my fingerprints off the drum brake there. Okay. So I'm going to call it good. And what I'm going to do is put this back together. And then I rotated that thing probably a whole turn, if not two. If it's not enough, I'll just have to take it all back apart and do some more. But at least I'll know where I'm at. It's kind of hard to tell where they need to be until you actually employ the brakes and see how they work. Okay, so I'm going to bring this back down. This might be tricky. Getting this back on. We got to push those pads apart again. Okay, we got this side put back together. And I came over on this side and took it apart. And I've already adjusted this one. And on this side, I was actually able to feel the brake shoes expand better because I got to where I couldn't even put the hub back on. I'm like, okay, that's too far. So I backed off of it a couple turns and it went on. So I feel better about this side than the other side. But this is all put back together. And the bolts were a little tighter on this side. I like to spray them with liquid wrench. That's my lubricant of choice. And on the bolts. And then when I took the bolts out, I sprayed them with the lubricant too to put them back in. Because next time you have to take them off, you want them to just come right off, right? But it's also rust prohibitive, so it keeps them from rusting. There was a little bit of water inside this hub. And you can see there's a little rusting going on here on the outside. It just could be driving in the rain. It could be that we were down at the lake yesterday and had the jet ski out there and it might have gotten down in the water. But really anything. This is kind of normal. But I wiped it out and cleaned it and then put it back together and adjusted the emergency brake. And then the only way to really test this is to go put the Jeep on a hill, put it in neutral, and pull the brake and see if it holds the vehicle. The vehicle should not keep rolling if you have the emergency brake on. That's a fail. So that's how we'll test it. So I'll put this all back together and then we'll do a test. Okay, now we're going to go test it. Make sure it works. I can already tell it's going to work. How so? Because I just got in. Let me flip the camera. And here's the handle. You remember how I had it all the way up? And I wasn't even in this position where I can really crank on it? It gets tight right there. Instead of way up here. Remember it was way up here, almost vertical? Well, now it's grabbing way lower, way down here, which is where it should be. So that's awesome. So I don't really think I even need to go test it. But we're going to go ahead and do it. We're going to go right across the street. There's a hill. And I'm going to go park it on the hill. And make sure it grabs. Make sure we don't fall down the hill. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go check it out. It's a short drive. There's a lot of traffic today because it's Friday night and it's Memorial Day weekend Friday night, and there's a lot of people coming out to the lake. Not the best time to visit the lake is during the Memorial Day weekend because it gets busy and it gets loud. Alright, so there's a good hill right here. And I'm going to go down, turn around. Back. Check it out. We can check it out heading down. Let's go. I think it's steeper behind me. So I'm just going to turn around right here. You can see how steep that hill is. That's about the same steepness as the boat ramp. So I'm going to go about up to where that mailbox is on the right, that red truck. That looks like the steepest part of the hill. I'll put it in neutral. I'm in neutral. I'm going to let it start coasting backwards. Okay, here we go. And there's the brake. Wow. It's holding. Release. Hold. There it is. One more test. Release. And hold. Very good. It passed the test. Okay, we'll go park her back in the garage. Thanks for joining me on another DIY project. So if you think your brakes need adjusted on a Jeep, they're not hard to do. A little cumbersome because you got to pull the wheels and the hub, but it wasn't hard. I showed you everything you had to do and it really wasn't hard at all. So it took me about 30 to 45 minutes. And that's it. So if you know what you're doing, you can probably do it in under 30 minutes. But I kind of knew what I was going to be doing, but I had not done it. So there was a learning curve. But that's what I like about DIYs, is that you can learn as you go, learn something new, and not pay somebody else to do it for you. If you can learn to do things yourself, you can save a ton of money, and you learn something new. That's the key point. You're learning. You're always learning. Anyway, you guys have a great day, and we'll check you next time on Madam Mayor's Adventures. Yay!
Hey!
Hey, how's it going?
What are you up to with all your gear there? What do you got?
Hey, check out how mobile and how portable this new cot is. I want to show you this cot. It's so phenomenal. So here's the mattress that rolls inside of itself. It's probably 3 pounds, maybe 4 pounds, and you can just sling it on your shoulder. And then here's the rest of it. This is the bedding cot, the cot portion of it.
A bed in a bag?
Yeah, it's a bed in a bag. You just walk.
Man on the go with a bed in the bag.
So it doesn't matter if you're walking from the parking lot out to your campsite, Or if you're walking down to the riverbank and you just want to set up by the fire on the river and you just want to have a place to lay out or chill for a little bit.
That would be nice.
And there's a couple of versatilities with this cot I want to let you know about. You don't have to use this bedding. You could throw your sleeping bag on just the cot frame itself, and that'd be great for different types of weather situations. But let me show you how this sets up real quick.
I'm interested to see how comfortable this thing is because I know you can fall asleep anywhere.
I can.
But I am more challenging. So I am interested in the comfort level here.
So this is made by Adderpock. And I think they've come up with a really good
Adderpock? I thought you might have said you found Tupac. You found Adderpock.
I did. Or it found me. So it has this handy strap here that keeps it, tightened up so you can get it in and out of the bag easily. You just pop it off.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then all you have to do is, I'm going to set this down so I don't drop it.
We could go hike the Appalachian with this.
You could, look, and then you just push it down. And if you push it down in the center, that seems to be the easiest way to do it. And one end is on an incline, a slight incline to make it more comfortable. And then check out this bedroll. So all it does is roll up into itself. So you just simply unroll it.
I like stuff that's easy to carry to your campsite.
Boom.
Nice.
I think you could sleep on it either way, but I think it's designed to go this way.
It looks pretty comfy.
You take the strap.
I know that company has a bunch of different cot selections that you can choose from, as well as colors.
And you see how the part that you rolled it up into, it also serves as a way to stabilize it so it doesn't ride down.
Nice.
And then here on the end, you have a couple of elastic straps you just put around the end of it. It's a little over 6 feet long and about 2 feet 3 inches wide, roughly. It has a little hanging pouch over here for your things, so you can put your mosquito bug spray,
Your
cell
phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. I wish I would have had this when we were doing some Girl Scout camping in Ohio.
So I'm going to flip it around so you can see it better. It's very lightweight.
And it looks like it supports a good amount of weight.
Yeah, the ground's not exactly level, but I think it will just contour. Boop. The weight limit's 450 pounds.
Really?
I'm about 220 pounds.
Give him 2 minutes and he'll be out. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding.
Nice. I just need a fan over here set up. I'm good.
Well, we've got those. You know what I think too will come in handy is this we could use in the cabin since it's small if we have guests. Instead of having a whole bunch of extra mattresses to have to store, you can just put this in the little bag, and when people show up, you can just pull that out and you have a bed for them real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Ooh, I wonder if we could even use this on the boat.
Oh, I bet you could.
There are so many uses I'm thinking right now.
And we just redecked the boat, so that would be fun.
You know how much I love being outside. So
Make sure to get your nice portable cot from Adderpock and go camping like the rest of us.
I will drop the link in the description if y'all want to check it out so you could have a pretty comfy bed too. I think I'm going to have to try this thing out and see how comfy it is.
Absolutely, you should.